It's good to be back with you. I'm going to be giving 6 devotions over the next 6 weeks that deal with Lent. The way I'm approaching it is not by using the biblical text out of the Revised Common Lectionary. What I've decided to do is to take something like faith. In fact, it is faith that I've taken. And I've chosen 6 passages from the New Testament that are important to me about faith. I hope that what this does is to help you and me on the journey of Lent. The text today is Ephesians 5, 8 through 14. Paul writes to the church at Ephesus, and he says to them, "Once you were children of darkness, but now you are children of light." It's interesting. In fact, it's intriguing. Once you walked in the darkness, but now you walk in the light. I can understand that. What Paul really was saying to the church at Ephesus is, once you were in darkness, but you had an encounter with Jesus. Jesus became a part of your lives, the Lord of your lives. And in that sense, you left darkness and now you walk as children of light. The fact is, in this Lenten season, we are reminded that this is an intense journey that we are making. We are making it with Jesus, and the fact is that this journey is filled with moments of darkness and moments of light. I suppose the reason that there is darkness is because you and I are called to examine our own selves. For example, how different am I from Lent last year? Changes have I made in my life in order to be closer to Christ, in order to be more caring for people in the world? We encounter the darkness of things that we wish were different, the light of the Christ who journeys with us. I really wish we would think of this as more than just a journey, more than just a trip. It's not just going from one place physically, geographically, to another. What it is going from one place internally in our lives. What more do I need to do or not do? What more do I need to say or not say? These are the kinds of questions that we ask ourselves as we make this journey, this inner journey of our lives, examining ourselves, asking, what more of us does Christ want? It's an intriguing journey because it is a journey that is filled with some darkness. The other night, I was sitting in our living room and I turned on the light beside my chair and I noticed shadows that were cast across the room. I thought to myself, even when the light is turned on, it's not all light. Everything is not lit. We can still see the shadows. And we ask ourselves, what can I do or not do? What do I need to say or not say? What do I need to confess or not to confess? Paul, writing to the church at Ephesus, said, you once were children of darkness. That's true. Once they didn't have the light of Christ in their lives. Now you are children of light. Jesus has come in, but you and I know from the experiences that we have in life that it's not all light. There is darkness that we encounter both in ourselves as well as the darkness that other people face in their lives. One of the favorite and most popular preachers among Baptists in the 20th century was a man named Carlisle Marney. Marney was pastor of the First Baptist Church in Austin, Texas. He was called to be the pastor of the Myers Park Baptist Church in Charlotte, North Carolina. It was already a progressive church, but little did they know how much more progressive they were going to become. Marney arrived in Charlotte wearing his boots and his hat. And the story is told that when he got out of his car with boots on and hat on, there was a new sheriff in town. Marney had a phrase that I love, faithing it. Marney wanted people to know faith is not just a list of doctrines to which we give assent. It's not just moral values that we have in our lives, although both of those are true. But faithing it is living out those things in our lives. It's so easy for us to recite a creed and to say this is our faith. But Marney wanted people to know in a world that is broken, the church is called to live its faith out in the world. Faithing it, he said. One of my mentors in preaching was Fred Craddock. He said one time that he didn't get involved in politics in his sermons, taking sides, but he did feel that the role of government was to care for those who could not care for themselves. Those who are poor, in prison, those who are homebound, to care for those. The government has cut the SNAP program, which provides food to those who are desperately hungry. Is that caring for others? I know you have different opinions about the president, but several years ago, Donald Trump said, because I never do anything wrong, short-sighted, because it's not just Donald Trump. It's Chuck Bugg and every one of you who is listening. We do have darkness in our lives that we have to confess. We walk in the light, but we also walk in the darkness. And it's by the power of God that during this Lenten season, we ask ourselves, what do I need to do or not do? What do I need to say or not say?